Hi, welcome to 80/20 Guitar. I'm Jake and I'm here to help you practice less and play more guitar. Today we're going to be going over your very first lesson. Maybe you've been playing for a little bit and this is a refresher for you. Maybe you just got a guitar and you're looking for the right place to start. I'm going to take you through learning your first song in the next few minutes. First, if you're struggling with bar chords, check the link in the description. I've got a PDF that goes along with the video giving you the one exercise you need to master bar chords in just minutes a day. The first thing we need to be able to do is talk about the guitar. There's a few things that we need to go over. The first is the strings. There's 6 of them. We're going to use numbers to talk about the strings. It's going to be the quickest way to get us going. The first string is on the bottom. The 6th string is on the top. First string is the thinnest. 6th string is the thickest. So in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call out a string and I'm going to ask you to pluck that string. So 1, good, 6, good, 4, good. The next thing we're going to talk about are frets. Those are the metal strips running down the length of the instrument. Now, if we say 0 or open, we mean without playing a fret. First would be just behind toward the headstock of the first fret. Second, just behind the second. Third, just behind the third. Fourth, and so on as we move towards the body or up the neck of the guitar. We need to talk about the 4 fingers we're going to be using on our left hand. Index, middle, ring, and pinky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call out a finger, I'm going to call out a fret and a string. We're going to go ahead and put our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. 1, 2, 3. Play it and pluck it. Perfect. Now we're going to do our ring finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string. 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th string. Perfect. Now, we're going to start building our first chord, which we're going to call D. It's actually going to be a D sus, S-U-S, which stands for suspended, but this is a first lesson. We're just going to call it D. So as we lay these fingers down now, I want you to keep them where they are. So we're going to do our pinky on 3rd fret of the 1st string, keeping that there, our pinky, 3rd fret of the 1st string, we're going to put our ring finger on 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Now they're right next to each other. Now, the song that we're playing for the duration of this lesson, these 2 fingers can stay parked right where they are. To make the D chord, we're going to put our index finger on 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Now, this D sus, this D chord, is a 4-string chord, which means we strum strings 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're not strumming strings 5 and 6. Awesome. Now, we're going to do a little exercise to help us get used to making this chord. I call it a grab and release. We're going to grab the chord. We're going to strum it to see if it's ringing out clearly. Then we're going to drop our hand and we're going to find that chord again. Maybe do 10 repetitions of those. If you need to pause the video to practice, by all means do that. I know I'm moving pretty quickly. One thing I want to point out, you'll see sometimes when I play this chord, my thumb is directly behind the guitar. Sometimes it's over the top. The biggest thing that we want to do is make sure we're not grabbing the neck like a baseball bat, but instead we're leaving some space in our hand. You can see I got some space here in between my palm and the guitar neck, kind of regardless of where my thumb is. But my goal is to have this nice flat wrist. Now that's not always going to happen. Sometimes my wrist is slightly bent out, but our goal is that nice flat wrist. We've worked on the D chord, D sus. Now we're going to learn a C sus, which stands for suspended. So dog sus, cat sus, D and C. We can leave our ring finger and our pinky parked on this 3rd fret of the 1st and 2nd string and lift up our index finger. To make our C chord, our C sus, we're going to take our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. You see, all these fingers are on the 3rd fret there. We're going to strum string 5 through 1. This is a 5-string chord. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you may notice string 4 has that dead thunk sound if you pluck it on its own. That dead thunk sound is perfectly acceptable and to be expected. We're actually intentionally muting that string with our middle finger the way we're playing this chord. So let's practice changing between our D sus and our C sus. Let's try this in time. I'm going to count to 4, then I'm going to loop back around. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time I get to 1, we're going to strum. On 2, 3, and 4, we're going to use that time to change to the next chord. D, change to C, change to D, back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Go back and work through that some more if you need a little bit more time with it. Make sure you're taking all that time, 2, 3, and 4, to move and find that next position. You don't have to hold the chord the whole time, especially right now when we're starting out. Let's learn our 3rd and final chord for this first lesson. We're going to start at our C chord, and we're going to move our middle finger from the 5th string to the 3rd fret of the 6th string. We're going to strum all 6 strings, string 6 through 1. You'll notice, just like with our C chord, we're going to get a thunk on the 5th string, the string right next to our middle finger. Again, that's intentional. So this is our G chord. Let's go through them again. D, C, and G. Awesome. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to loop through these chords. Instead of only changing on beat 1, we're going to now change on beats 1 and 3. I'm going to demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, C, 2, G, 3, 4. D, 2, C, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice that I played the D chord once, the C chord once, and the G chord twice. The twice on the G chord was intentional. That's because we're playing the chord progression from Sweet Home Alabama. And if you put on that record, you should be able to hear D, C, G, G again, and then back to the beginning. Let's try that together, the same count. D on 1, C on 3, G on 1, G on 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, C, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, C, 4, G, 2, G, D, C, G, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you didn't get all the way through that with me confidently here the very first time, Do not feel discouraged. It takes a little bit to get these under your fingers, and I am going very fast because I want you to be playing a song that you can recognize as quickly as possible. If you need to rewind the video, go back, make sure that you're playing the chords correctly, listen to me playing while I'm counting, try to play along with the counting, and I promise you will get it. Leave a comment, let me know how this lesson worked for you. Let me know if you're struggling with anything. If anything didn't make sense, I'd be happy to clear it up for you. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any future lessons. Lastly, if you're working on bar chords and you're struggling, check the link in the description. I've got a PDF that goes along with the video showing you the one exercise you need to master bar chords in just minutes a day.